Hey everybody, this is Darren Van Dam and you are watching Flick Connection, the show that helps you get more out of movies, and today I'm going to tell you about all the best stuff Netflix is adding in September 2019. Now, this is not a comprehensive list, but this is all the stuff you should really be looking forward to in September. So I'm going to start by telling you all the best stuff they're adding on the first in alphabetical order, starting with 300. If you haven't seen 300 by now, I don't know where you've been. This movie was huge when it came out. I still enjoy watching it. While I don't necessarily enjoy it as much, it's still just a really cool, slick flick. If you haven't seen it in a while, it's definitely worth your while to check it out. I have noticed there are quite a bit of Gerard Butler movies currently on Netflix, making me wonder if they've got maybe a Netflix original with him in the works. American Psycho, another one that a ton of people have seen, but this one comes on and off in Netflix, so it's not really that big of a surprise. If you've never seen this one, tread lightly. This is a demented, twisted flick. If you like weird stuff like that, I can't imagine you have not seen this one yet. If you don't like things like that, do not watch this one just because Christian Bale's in it. He's great, but I'm telling you, this is a sick movie. A good crowd pleaser is Dante's Peak. Yeah, this one's got some years on it, but it's just a good natural disaster movie. Crazy volcano exploding, Pierce Brosnan, all kinds of wild stuff happening in this one. It's pretty well put together, and the effects pretty much hold up today. They hold up certainly enough. Some of the stuff's over the top, but if you like your natural disaster movies, this one fits kind of right in the middle of the pack somewhere. Mystic River, directed by Clint Eastwood, starring Tim Robbins, Sean Penn, Marcia Gay Harden, Kevin Bacon, Lawrence Fishburne. Huge cast on this one, and just a really great crime thriller. This is based on a book written by the same person who wrote the books that Shutter Island's based on, Gone Baby Gone, so just a really good thriller writer. And this is a dark movie. It's about the disappearance of a girl and some other dark subject matter, but again, really great performances, really well directed. Watch it when you're in the right mood for something like this, but it's just it's kind of just one of those movies that's just like pitch perfect. It nails what it was going after perfectly. Usually throw one or two family picks in the mix, and Open Season is getting added. They've had the sequels on for a while, and as they are typically with animated movies, they're inferior. Open Season is a fun movie if you've got kids or nieces, nephews. This is a great one to watch with them because it's entertaining enough for adults without it necessarily being adult humor. Speaking of adult humor, Stripes and Superbad have both been added. Stripes is already a classic and has been for a really long time, mainly, not exclusively, but mainly due to Bill Murray. He is just a genius in this movie, as well as a lot of the other comedic actors like John Candy. I really wish he was in this movie more. I love Stripes because it takes you on such a journey. You go through boot camp, you go on this mission. There's so much that they pack into a relatively short comedy movie. I think that's what makes this one a classic. And then Superbad is well on its way to become a classic if it's not there already. This was the breakout role for Jonah Hill, and the first 15 minutes of this movie are just unbelievably funny. It's just bang, 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 like joke after joke after joke, and it fits. It feels natural and organic. That's what I really like about this movie. To me, these are both highly, highly rewatchable comedies. If you're in the mood for horror, The Last Exorcism is a so-so Exorcist movie. It's not nearly as good as The Exorcist, and there are a handful of others that are better than it, but The Last Exorcism is good enough. It's got it's kind of your found footage thing, and it worked for me for a single watch. I don't know that I would ever watch it again, but if you haven't seen it, it's a decent horror recommendation and will likely be recommended by me again as we enter October and I put out some horror movie list for you. And then oddly, The Lord of the Rings, The Two Towers, and The Return of the King are being added, but not The Fellowship of the Ring. I don't know why they're adding two. Doesn't make a lick of sense to me, but if you want to watch those two and haven't seen them in a while, I guess you could do that. It seems kind of ridiculous to me, though, to watch those and not the first one. And then finally on the first, The Walking Dead Season 9 gets added. This is actually the first season I did not watch. I was a big fan of the show for a long time. Once the whole Negan thing basically resolved itself, I feel like I had enough. But if you did not get enough and you didn't get a chance to see Season 9, it gets added on the first, just in time to binge watch it before the new season begins soon.
How many childhood stories do I have to tell you? before you follow the breadcrumbs to the absolute lunatic that you married.
All right, and then let's jump ahead about a week to September 10th. Bill Burr's new special, Paper Tiger, gets added. Bill Burr is one of the most popular comedians working today. I love him. I really love his sense of humor. So I'll be watching this one as soon as it drops. And then if Bill Burr is not for you, Eat, Pray, Love also gets added on the 10th. I'll definitely be watching Paper Tiger instead of Eat, Pray, Love. But for everyone that's not joining me to watch Paper Tiger, knock yourself out. And then also on the 10th, Shameless Season 9. This is the American Shameless with William H. Macy. Popular show. Know a lot of people like it. If you've been looking forward to Season 9, you got Season 9 of The Walking Dead, and then you got Season 9 of Shameless coming at you. And then on Friday the 13th, Head Count gets added. This is a horror, mystery, thriller thing that I have seen the trailers for. It looks very interesting. I almost paid to watch this movie, and I didn't. I didn't know it was coming to Netflix until just now, but I will be watching that one, and Friday the 13th sounds like a great day to watch Head Count. If it's great, I'll let you know in future videos. Keeping on with that Friday the 13th date, The Chef Show Volume 2 gets added. So The Chef Show just got added like 8 weeks ago, and they already have new episodes. I guess it's part 2 of Season 1, but if you like cooking shows, I would check this one out. There's a lot of celebrities and stuff. It's kind of a fun show, but it's pretty laid back as well. You're not gonna learn a lot, but it's fun to watch. The Ranch Season 7 gets added. Another one that I know is really popular. I basically have moved on from the live audience format sitcom thing. I've had enough of it in my life. But if you are still into it, you can watch Season 7 on the 13th. Tall Girl is a Netflix original movie about a girl who's tall. And I guess it looks like it deals with some, like, not discrimination, but just troubles. This is definitely aimed at like a teen audience, young adult audience, and it's about a girl who was 6'1" in high school, which doesn't seem like that bad of a thing. I can tell you, I knew a girl who was 6'2", and she grew up to marry a like devilishly handsome, semi-successful YouTuber with like really good-looking gray in his beard. So, you know, being a tall girl might be rough in high school, but it works out for some people. And then on the 20th, another Netflix original movie. Hold on for this one. It's Between Two Ferns, the movie, with Zach Galifianakis and Will Ferrell. I used to love the Between Two Ferns series, where Zach Galifianakis interviews celebrities. The Charlize Theron one is brilliant. I think it's just hilarious. I got a link to that original clip in the description below if you want to check it out. But there's a movie that looks like it's going to be kind of lame movie-wise, but just because those guys are involved, I would imagine it's at least going to be worth a handful of laughs and at least worth the 90 minutes it'll take to watch it. So I'll definitely be watching it and letting you know what I think. Also on the 20th, there is a documentary called Inside Bill's Brain that's about Bill Gates. Now, Bill Gates is one of the most important figures of our lifetime. What he brought to the table has completely revolutionized the world. So with that in mind, it'll be really interesting to see kind of where this documentary goes, and maybe it unveils some parts of Bill Gates that we've yet to see on screen. On the 24th, American Horror Story Apocalypse gets added. If you're a fan of that show and you've been waiting for it to come on streaming, you got your chance here at the end of the month. I personally burned out on it early on in the series, but it is a very well put together series, and I'm sure most of my horror fans, and I know there are a lot of you, dig the show. If you didn't get a chance to check it on Netflix because you cut that cord, here you go. Okay, and then on the 27th, a movie I've been excited to see, and I only just recently found out it's going to be a Netflix original, In the Shadow of the Moon, directed by Jim Mickle. Now, that name probably does not sound familiar, but his 2 previous films are Stakeland, which I've recommended on the show multiple times, and Cold in July, a really great thriller. Both of them are on Netflix right now. Both of them are fantastic. I love both movies. His next one is a Netflix original movie. It's got a killer cast. It is about hunting down a serial killer. It looks good. I love his directing style and his storytelling style. So I will be reviewing this one as early as I possibly can, and we'll be putting up a video on the channel. So if you're new here, be sure to click the subscribe button and click that little bell icon so you get notified when I put out videos like that one and like this one. Also on the 27th, The Politician is a new series that looks like it's like a mix between a drama and a comedy. It's got a big cast, including Gwyneth Paltrow, who like almost never works anymore outside of the Marvel movies. So it's a big deal for her to be in it, a big deal for some of the other names to be in it. Netflix is really bringing the heat with the star power. If you're into like the whole young politician type of a thing, to me, it looks like it's probably going to be a watered down version of House of Cards, but it will definitely be for some of you. And then Sturgill Simpson presents Sound and Fury. I really don't know what to think about this. I'm a big fan of Sturgill Simpson's music. I would imagine this is going to be something similar, like a music experience similar to like Tom York's from Radiohead. If it is, I'm into it. If you've never listened to Sturgill Simpson, it is country music, but it's very good. It's kind of old school Johnny Cash style stuff. Some of his lyrics are psychedelic. I'm not a country music guy, and I have all of his albums. I love his music. Here's everything leaving in September. You may want to go ahead and pause the screen, take note of the date, determine whether or not you need to add this to your queue, and set yourself a reminder. If you've been wanting to watch any of these movies, be sure to watch them soon because they are leaving, and a lot of times they leave on the date that I'm showing you, which means when you wake up in the morning, they're going to be gone. If you'd like to support the show, please consider becoming a Patreon supporter. There is a link in the description, and these people I'm showing you right now, they are doing a great job of keeping the show alive. Now, there are some other levels. There are some people that are just donating $1 or $3. Their names are not here, but they are just as important. They are helping me buy the gear. If you've been watching for a while, you may have noticed the production value has gone up. It's due to people like this, so thank them in the comments below. Like I said, you'll see me on the next one. I got some cool stuff. Coming up, including, just since we're here at the end, including some new stuff on the Darren Van Dam channel. So go over there and make sure you're subscribed. That way you get notifications when those videos drop.